Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. I decided to go live for today's Sunday Roundup. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Just felt like it. Just felt like a good thing to do. There's actually a lot going on in the space. So Sunday Roundups are basically when I take a look at, the major happenings over the past week and then review that together as I look forward for the next week, right? So you've got optimistic, let's start off with just Bitcoin. You have optimistic projections. Hey, thank you for joining. You have optimistic projections. If you're new, and Cam, I know you're new. I haven't seen you before, and so is I am Dodd MFU. I don't know where you're from. I love knowing where everybody's from. So if you could let me know, that'd be really happy. But here's the deal. Here's the crazy deal. I don't understand. Oh no. I think I just closed the window and that's not bueno. I just closed everybody from Instagram, I believe. And that's not good. Let me get back on Instagram real quick and then we'll continue the show. I'm really, really sorry. Oh, maybe it didn't. Maybe we got lucky and it's still going. But I need to get into it to see. There you go. I'm back. All right. No. And that's not good. Let me get back. Actually, let me mute that. And then we'll continue the show. I'm really, really sorry. Yeah, so I can still see all of the lives, but I'm unable to see the inside portion of the chats. So I'm just trying to find that on Instagram and then we'll get back to the regular show. I'm almost there. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. So I can go back to getting my sound so I can see any pop-ups or anything else like that. So I'm just trying to find that on Instagram. All right, so Bitcoin is slated, there you have a lot of people coming out. Plan B, Raoul Paul. Raoul Paul is a big guy. Plan B is a big guy and used to have this thing called Plan B where he showed you kind of trying to predict where Bitcoin was going to go. It worked for a while and then, didn't work anymore. No financial projections, stocks, options, bonds, Forex, crypto, none of those are going to last forever, right? But the person is mad smart. I don't know if it's guy or girl. The person is mad smart. So I started looking at it and I started saying to myself, well, that's somebody I want to pay attention to because they're really good at what they do. See how I do that? Then he says, well, listen, I think that Bitcoin is going to hit 200,000. I believe that the floor for Bitcoin now is 60,000. And you know what? Hey, David, I think that's right. I really think that's right. When you think about where Bitcoin is now and where it's headed, you kind of sit there and you kind of say to yourself, yeah, I could see how that could happen. You're at 69, you're almost at 70,000. I believe we hit 69, high 69s just now, and we hit 70,000, right? The idea that I'm looking at right now is, what else happens after that halving event comes? Then you have all kinds of positive things that can happen thereafter, including, certain macro events that are expected, right? You expect there to be a rate cut in the United States. We expect that to happen, and I think it will happen. Now, then you start thinking about what are the forecast suggestions? Well, ARK Invest is still thinking it's going to hit 1 million. I don't think it's going to hit 1 million anytime soon, but she's thinking it's going to hit 1 million by 2030. Actually, I think now Kathy Wood is saying it's 1.5 million by the year 2030. And I think she could actually be on to something. Then you start looking at, the different projects and things that are out there that are affecting the cryptoverse. Let's start off with all of the AI plays, all of the major AI plays. Fetch AI, Singularity, and Ocean are voting right now. Today's the last day of voting. The last day of voting to actually get in there for whether or not they merge not necessarily the projects, but the coins. So the major AI projects within the crypto space plan on merging their coins, right? Or at least they proposed it. And voting is 74% complete with the last voting day today. So we could have an answer to that either later today or early tomorrow. I'm thinking it's probably going to be positive, because the whole idea would be create this one coin, create, massive, inflows, also combine strength between the projects to battle big tech, which currently kind of owns the AI space. That's really what they're looking to do. The combined coin which would be called ASI, would be about $7 billion in market cap instantly. I can't be mad about that. I cannot be mad about that. So when I look at that, I'm kind of like, okay, that's big news, and I'm going to pay attention to that. That's another macro event that can make moves. What else am I paying attention to? You have the forecast, you have that. Something else that like dropped my flippin' jaw, XRP. Imagine XRP coming out with a stable coin. Yeah, that's going to happen. They've actually said, we're going to come out with a stable coin, and we plan to combine retail and institutional use cases for that stable coin. They've got a crazy quick network, right? Relatively cheap fees, and they're secure. So that gives you, and they have a lot of reach. So you figure that reach spans from institutional to retail, and then would crisscross then, and the speed at which they can transfer data or transfer assets between borders or cross borders is actually really big. It's really big. Something else that I'm paying attention to is Solana. Solana's got network problems. This is actually a good thing. They've got to fix it. Don't get me wrong. They really do have to fix it. I'm still going to continue growing my bag in Solana. However, it's a good thing because I believe they're gaining the traffic, right? Although I don't like the kind of traffic they're getting, they're showing that they can gain traffic. And right now they've got to solve, that network congestion problem. That everybody has that network congestion problem, which is why I keep telling everybody there is not only one coin. I don't think a single coin can handle all of the traffic across, all of the blockchains. So when retail starts to pick up, right? When you start to see businesses like e-commerce sites, like all sites on our platform, Rebel Reach, can accept, Bitcoin and other cryptos if they choose. As companies start to choose, like that, that's going to cause even more traffic. So then right now you've got, everybody loves memes, until you realize those meme transactions aren't doing anything. That's just people buying and selling and trading memes for no other reason than to buy and trade memes because I think it has a cute name. They don't serve a use case. What are going to be the main coins that are going to be leveraged in e-commerce or just normal commerce situations? It's going to be definitely the top 5, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, right? It's going to be all of those. Even Litecoin. Everybody discounts Litecoin. I got to tell you, it's seen as a good coin. Stellar is another coin that moves money across borders, but from a retail perspective, the way XRP does it for an institutional perspective. Bitcoin Cash is another one that people sleep on, but real deal transactions happen there. So what I'm saying is you've got real deal transactions a little low right now. You have meme coin transactions way up here. What happens when this picks up? How much congestion is there going to be when that happens? That's why I'm asking you, take a look at that and see how that works out in your head. And then you'll start to realize, there can't be only one coin. Then you start to realize, we've got to be able to transfer information between real world and digital world. That's Chainlink, world's largest, crypto oracle. Second is Pith Network. And so far, they're saying Pith Network might actually be faster than Chainlink. They've got a long way to go with that bridge between real world and digital world. But if they're faster, that's going to happen. And let me tell you something. Again, when real transactions, that's what I'm calling them, when real transactions pick up, meme coins are going to be frowned upon because you don't do anything. Nothing's really happening there. No goods and services are being transferred. That's what I mean. I'm not using a meme coin to pay for goods and services. I'm using real coins to pay for goods and services. So when I look at that, I sit back and I kind of go, well, so that would mean that Shiba Inu is not a meme coin because it's used for goods and services. Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Shiba Inu, Doge. As much as I would like to call Doge a meme coin, I can't call it a meme coin anymore because it's used for real transactions. That's my definition. Are you being leveraged for real transactions more so than meme transactions? Doge and Shiba Inu fit into that space. If you've got questions, do me a favor, drop the questions down in the comments, because Sunday Roundup is all about answering questions. It's all about, this is when you get to ping me on things, right? So during the day, during the week, Monday through Friday, I do a daytime show. That daytime show, that early in the day for me in New York, I get up at 4 a.m. and I'm doing my research and all that stuff. That one is free, open to the public. And that's pre-recorded normally, and I just put it out there. I'm trying to go live with that at 7 a.m. every day. But, schedules get hammered and all that good stuff, but I'm trying to stick to it. Normally that's not live. Normally it's pre-recorded. The next one is the evenings in New York. That show is for members only. So if you want to catch that show and you want to, have that back and forth, answering questions, putting questions forward, that kind of thing, you've got to join on YouTube. And I've got to say, I'm giving away a lot of information. If you go to growmybag.tv online, that's a social media platform dedicated to this space, and you'll see tons of articles for stocks, for crypto, and we're about to introduce classes on that platform, directly on that platform. We're not going to send you someplace else. You're going to take the classes there. You're going to read the articles there. You're going to communicate with your friends there. And something that we're doing is, yes, we're charging $12 for a membership on that website. Why? It helps us keep the bots out. And, a little bit helps us keep the lights on, right? It takes a lot to actually pull all this together. Anyway, you've got Nigeria with this whole scandal going on with Binance. The reason why I bring that up is because anything international is going to wind up affecting us locally. So internationally, looking at Nigeria, I'm like, so now they want to extradite the executive that escaped. In my heart of hearts, I think that executive did not escape. I think that executive paid people off and got the heck out of Dodge. One of the people that they're holding right now happens to be an anti-money laundering expert. He's helped companies in the United States. He's helped the United States fight money laundering. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, that's the guy you choose to hold? So some funny stuff is going on in Nigeria with that case. The case was originally $26 million in anti-money laundering or nefarious transactions, and now it's 35. Right there, that tells me there's something a little iffy going on. Thanks for joining, everybody. I see you on YouTube. I see you on Instagram. If you just drop me a note, let me know where you're from, right? Because I don't know where everybody's from. It would be great to know. So I'm looking at those kinds of things where I'm looking at news on an international level that would affect us here, right? Durbit, which is an options exchange for digital assets, just got licensed in Dubai. And I sit back and I go, whoa, that's actually big. It's big for a couple of reasons. One, they're an options exchange. Two, it's Dubai. Dubai, the Middle East is becoming a major, major, major player in crypto. And you need to pay attention to that because obviously those countries have big, big, big pockets and they're deep as heck. So when they get involved in something, you kind of got to pay attention to it. So Durbit getting licensed in Dubai is a big deal, because then I expect them to go get licensed in the UAE, for example. And you just keep bouncing around, and then, bounce out from there. And a lot of companies, a lot of these projects are taking their cue from Binance, who has done nothing but stumble when it comes to regulatory compliance around the world, and saying, if we want to go to a country, we're going to take it seriously. We're going to enter in all the paperwork. We're going to show what we're doing, all that other good stuff. So that's actually huge. You have a bank in Tokyo that's introducing a fiat-based, stable coin, and you want to know how that stable coin is going to be financed? Bank assets, real bank assets. That's huge. Oh, there's one more point about XRP. I totally forgot about this. Their stable coin, they're going to allow that stable coin to be attested to every single month, not once a year, but audited and attested every single month. When you stop and you look at that, and I have worked on those kinds of projects as a consultant, still do. That is huge. They're basically saying, we're going to launch a stable coin. It's going to be the most stable of all stable coins. And we're going to prove it to you on a monthly basis. They're not looking at Circle. I can tell you now, they've got to be looking at Tether. And Tether is the big boy. Tether is huge. Do you know how much it would take to dethrone Tether as the world's number one stablecoin? It would take a lot. Circle is the world's number one stablecoin if you look at, real cash or real cash equivalent reserves. So it's going to take something mighty to take them out as number one as well. And you also have to think about who they're backed by. Backed by Coinbase, who's backed by BlackRock, who's backed by Vanguard, right? And those aren't the only companies involved, but I'm saying those are the big names that are involved in that space. So I take a deep look into what's going on there. And so for me, I'm just wondering, how do, when that coin comes out, I never think that a single coin is going to serve as the sole answer, the sole solution for any use case. I always think there are going to be multiples. That said, when you look at fiat, most fiat, US dollar, United States, EU, Europe, British gold pound. Okay, that's just the UK. But you start to realize that fiat helps to determine borders, right? And you start to wonder how that's going to happen. When you look at China, when you look at Russia, when you look at India, how are you transferring money? How are you doing business? Right now with them, with the BRICS nations, which have been very quiet lately, they're doing it with China, digital yuan. And that's really cool, except that the rest of the world isn't. They're trying to say that all these countries want to deal in the yuan. And I'm like, they don't want to deal in the yuan. They want to be involved with BRICS because they don't want to deal in the US dollar until they start to realize, this whole BRICS situation might not be so great. Then you start to turn to crypto and you realize, I can store value in Bitcoin and I can transact in all the other coins. Remember that. I keep telling you, the value savings is going to most likely come from within Bitcoin, or the storing of value is going to be in Bitcoin, and then transactional value is going to be handled by the rest of the coins that are out there. And they'll handle transactions such as NFT, the use of NFTs for memberships, entrances, things like that. You'll start to see that start to blow up. As I start to look forward, based on last week's news, like the Federal Reserve moving $2 billion into Coinbase, Coinbase's Bitcoin outflows popping over 1.2 billion, separate from the US, putting in their Bitcoin, because that Bitcoin came from Silk Road. Aside from that, the outflows from exchanges have been really high. And Coinbase, that 1.2 billion, is an example of how high it is. Now, mind you, for all of the Bitcoin spot ETFs to be able to do those over-the-counter transactions or OTC transactions, they have to get those through an OTC broker like the exchanges. Those are transactions that are brokered, behind the scenes between two parties with a broker in between. As those outflows increase, sooner or later, those exchanges are going to be like, yeah, we can't do OTC anymore. Your transaction is going to have to be in public. When that starts to happen, that's when you start to realize, holy moly, transactions in public mean that things will definitely fluctuate. And that's what they're trying to avoid. And I'm sitting here and I'm just going, yeah, you're not going to be able to avoid that for too much longer. 6% of I believe it's 6%, could be a little less, could be a little bit more, but around 6% of the Bitcoin out there right now held by Bitcoin spot ETFs. Over 1% is owned by MicroStrategy. And they're not the biggest. Obviously, Grayscale is. As for that Grayscale, sell-off, yes, it's been declining rapidly. They've been slowing down on their sales. But remember, those sales are also stemming from the sales from Genesis, which went, bankrupt, which was owned by Digital Currency Group, right? Then you have sales from, Grayscale itself. And then Genesis, what Genesis did, I just heard on another channel, and I had to go research it to see if that was the case. And it is. Genesis sold some of their Grayscale shares to get money so that they could go buy Bitcoin directly. Interesting, right? They had to do it because they're holding Grayscale shares. Grayscale shares are not Bitcoin. So what they're saying is, we're going to sell that. We're going to get this. We're most likely going to hold it for a little while, let it go up, and then we'll sell so we can make more money so we can pay that out. That's probably what that scenario is. Because remember, they went bankrupt over big problems. One, obviously, with the United States, that was the big one. When you look at that, you start to realize volatility is going to be there. The halving event is going to affect the value. And that's really what the gameplay here is. You've got 13, 14 days for the halving event. And with that halving event, you go from 900 Bitcoin being mined every day down to 450. If that doesn't help to shoot Bitcoin up when that starts to kick into people's brains, what will? And, history shows that after a halving event, that's a major catalyst to a bull run. Now, somebody had asked me previously, how does this bull run compare to the others? This bull run compared to the other three is completely different. And the reason why is, it's a halving event, not a problem. But this bull run stemming from the halving event, or how this halving event is different than the other three, is the adoption level. The level of adoption from retail, from institutions, and use cases, and just awareness is completely different than every time else. And that's why I think there's going to be a huge impact positively going upward. I mean, I think you're going to see, normally a parabolic bull run doesn't happen until toward the end of the bull run. I'm thinking it's going to be more than that. I really do think it's going to be more than that. So as I look forward during this week, I sit back and I kind of say, let me give some thought to how all this news from the past week is going to affect the next week. And this week, I am acutely focused on, I know I have a dollar cost averaging strategy, DCA, that says, here's X amount of money I have per week, specifically for crypto, right? Because my overall dollar cost averaging strategy has it across all of my, income streams. But this one says, for specifically crypto, I'm making adjustments to that to say, here's what I would normally invest. And I'm taking some of my dry powder and also putting that in. Why? Because I want to build up on Bitcoin. The other coins, because I know the question is going to be asked, what are the other coins that I want to build up on right now? Right now in my head, I want to build up on Bitcoin, Chainlink, believe it or not, Polygon. I'm already holding a lot of Cardano. Solana, definitely. Why? Because Solana's down and Solana's going to go back up. Shiba Inu, maybe a little bit of Doge. If I was to throw in a couple of memes, probably dog with hat if I can catch it on the down before it goes back up, because those are volatile moves. So memes are separate for me. But for DCA stuff, I'm looking at those coins. I'm looking at Bitcoin Cash, which just had its halving event. Those are the things that I'm looking for that I think are going to have sustained growth rather than, extreme peaks and extreme valleys like meme coins. So I'm looking at things like that, things that are going to be transactional in the future. Chainlink will be transactional. Pith Network will be transactional. All the coins I just listed will have transactional value. That use case is huge to me. So every week, every day, when I'm looking at news, I'm looking at, is that news going to move the needle now or in the future, right? And how many times in the future is that news going to affect me? And then I'm looking at, is it going to cause a macro event, a micro event? Something that's affecting Solana, that's a micro event, right? Solana having network issues has nothing to do with everybody else. It's only Solana. I'm glad they're having the problem because it's an opportunity for me to get in while they're low before they go back up. They're really going to have to, fight that battle. It's great having the traffic from meme coins, but then it's a double-edged sword, right? Because all of that traffic is stopping real transactions. So they need to think about how we're going to fix that little problem. And it's little, not so little at times, and we'll see how that goes. So what else is going on? Unfortunately, you know what? I believe that people are asking questions, but I can't see the questions right now on Instagram, which is a problem because I had closed the window and I don't know how to get back to the management window that I normally have. So I apologize for that if you ask questions. If you can DM me the questions and I'll get to it this week in one of the other videos, I will gladly do it. What else is there? I think that's it for this week. I mean, there are other things, Coinbase being licensed in Canada is actually a very big deal. Canada's strict. Canada's mad strict. Mad strict. Philippines tightening their crypto regulatory compliance issues. That's going to be tough for a lot of companies to go over to work over there. But there are things that are going on that I look at that are, how are they going to affect this week? For the next 2 weeks, like I said, I'm looking on anything that's going to affect Bitcoin, right? Ghostface Killer coming out with his stuff. That's on Bitcoin. That's big. Wu-Tang Clan. That's right. I'm paying attention to that. Why? Because anything that's going to put Bitcoin in a positive face, that's going to put the numbers up. And that's what I need if I'm going to grow my bag. Anyway, more news about Grow My Bag. We've just signed a contract with the Small Business Development Corporation in New York. We're going to be hosting some of their classes. So if you own a small business, looking to own a small business, need help with your small business, we're going to have classes over there, to help you with your business, as well as all of the news that we have to help you with, navigating this particular space in crypto. You know what else we have? We've got crypto foundations, the building, for building multi-generational wealth. We got it in 2 flavors. We have it in hardcover and paperback, which is kind of nice. And it really does help you to establish what crypto is. And it gives you that foundational knowledge from which you can start to really get into doing your own research, because now you know what everything is. So get the book. It's on Amazon. It's real easy. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I truly hope you enjoy the rest of your day. If you have questions, I'm sorry I didn't get to them today, but you can always hit me up, DM me, or, become a member, because members get questions get questions answered. So to become a member on YouTube, and, we can do a lot together. We can learn together and do a lot. Anyway, thank you so much for all those that are supporting me right now. I hope to gain more of your trust as we continue moving forward and growing our bags together. Have a good one. Bye-bye.